morning, everybody. Welcome and happy Friday. It's Leah again, back with another rendition of our morning yoga. And I say this almost every week, but I just want to say thank you again. So many of you, when I talk to you on the phone or see you in the restaurant, just have so many kind words to say about yoga. And I am so appreciative of that. And I'm so happy to be able to share this with you. So thank you so much. And go ahead and get started for this morning. As you all know, you'll need a sturdy, comfortable seat, a chair, or maybe a coffee table in your apartment works really well. Remember that any of the movements we do, I will usually give several different options. So some that might be more challenging or less challenging. And I try to give options that'll suit a wide variety of different mobility levels. So always feel free to take the option that works best for you. And of course, if it doesn't seem like I gave an option that works for you, you can always find your own, or you're always welcome to just return to your seat and take a few moments to focus back on your breath. In the case that a movement seems like it's just really not suited to you this morning. Remember, as long as you're breathing, it's still yoga, and at whatever level you're participating with the movement, that conscious focus on your breath is what separates yoga from other movements or exercise styles, anything like that. Go ahead and find your way to your seat in your apartment. Come forward in your seat so that there's plenty of space behind you in the back of the chair. And you want to make sure that your feet can come down firmly onto the ground. In the case that it's a little difficult for your feet to reach the ground, a book or a step stool underneath your feet can make all the difference. Bring the ground up to you instead. So go ahead and find your seat. Sit up nice and tall. Extend your spine. Bring your feet down right underneath your knees. Relax your shoulders. Close your eyes. Just start to notice your breath. Notice your body and where you're at today. Just acknowledging without judgment, checking in. I like to move from the ground up my body personally. You might like to go from the top down or the middle out. Just acknowledging, noticing your ankles, your knees, maybe noticing how your hips feel today. Noticing your spine, maybe sitting up a little taller. Begin to notice your breath. You might simply observe your breath at the pace it's at now, or you might begin to deepen your breath, taking a fuller, slower inhale down into your low belly, filling up and expanding out, and emptying completely on your exhale, releasing all your air. Low belly draws in and up. Inhale and exhale at your own pace. Go ahead and open your eyes, and we'll start to add in a seated cat and cow movement. So with your inhalation, send your chest forward, roll your shoulders down and back, even lean forward slightly in your chair. And on your exhale, round your spine, lean way back, let your chin drop to your chest. Inhale, come forward. And exhale, round back. Move at your own pace, so it might be faster or slower than mine, and you might find that one of these two movements feels really good, and you want to stay there a little longer. You can also start to add in some of your own movements. Maybe you roll side to side a little, or make like a figure 8 shape. It's really not a right or wrong way to do cat and cow. If you notice that your spine seems to stop at the back of your chair before you finish your movement, scooch a little farther forward so you've got plenty of space to explore your full range of motion. Finish out one more round of cat and cow. And come up to your neutral spine, shoulders right over hips. Look down at your feet. Line up your knees right over the centers of your feet and you should allow your feet to comfortably reach the ground. Then press your feet down. When you press your feet down, you'll feel your seat sliding back a little toward the back of your chair. Sit up a little taller, lift your chest, roll your shoulders down and back, and bring arms down by your sides. Reach down actively through your fingertips. Take a full breath in. Open your mouth, big exhale. One more time, full inhale. Big sigh, exhale. Your next inhale, reach your arms up. And on your exhale, bring your arms to shoulder height. Turn your palms down, extend out from shoulders all the way through your fingertips. Take a big breath in. On your exhale, twist to the right. Left hand comes across for your right leg. Your right hand might find the back of your chair and the seat behind you. Just gently turning. You might even turn your gaze over your back shoulder. Inhale here. Exhale, untwist. Big breath in. Exhale, arms by sides. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, turn your palms down and open your arms to shoulder height. Extend from sternum out through fingertips, strong arms, big breath in. On your exhale, twist to the left. Right hand comes across for your thigh. Your left hand can reach behind you or come to the chair beside you. Lift your chest, and if you'd like, turn your gaze over your back shoulder. Big breath in. Exhale, untwist. Inhale here. And exhale, arms by sides. Same thing again, arms reach up. Exhale to shoulder height. Take an inhale here. Exhale, twist to the right. You can bring your hand across or keep your arms open at shoulder height for more challenge. Press both feet down and notice that your left knee wants to come in, so keep it in line over your ankle. Inhale. Exhale, untwist. Take an inhale here. And exhale, arms by sides. To the left, last time, inhale up. Exhale, open to a T. Inhale here. And on your exhale, twist. You can bring your hand to your left thigh, or you can keep your arms open at shoulder height. Noticing your right knee, it wants to come in, so keep it in line over your ankle. Press down through both feet. Big breath in. Exhale, untwist, release. Take an inhale here. And on your exhale, hinge from the hip crease, lean slightly forward into a forward fold. Keep your spine long, think out and forward through the crown of your head. Press your feet down, hips move back. You can stay here just with a slight hinge forward, or you might begin to walk your hands down your legs and come into a deeper fold. Wherever you're at, press the ground away from you with your feet to make your legs strong and engaged. On your next inhale, walk your hands back up your legs, stack shoulders over hips. Exhale, bring arms down by sides. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead, reach up through your fingertips and pause here. Make your arms more straight as they'll go, and then reach up a little taller. Bring biceps by ears, and notice that your chest might want to come far forward here. You can keep that feeling, but balance it with the feeling of your belly button drawing back to your spine. This is going to bring you to stack more over your hips, and it'll feel like you're tucking your tailbone forward. Press your feet down even more. Take one more full breath in. Exhale, palms together, heart center. Inhale here. Exhale, hands down to legs. One more time, arms up overhead, inhale. Squeeze biceps by ears, make your arms even more straight, and reach up through your fingertips. Again, find that balance of chest coming forward and belly button drawing back to your spine. Press your feet down and stack shoulders right over hips, stack wrists right over shoulders. One more full breath in. Exhale, palms to heart center. Inhale here. Exhale, release down. Make sure again that your knees are right over your ankles or the centers of your feet. Feet hip distance apart in front of you. Start by pressing both feet down firmly, and then take your right foot and pick it up off the ground. Yeah, you might use your hands to help you draw your knee into your chest. Sit up a little taller. Try to connect your torso and your thigh. It's okay if they don't actually connect, as long as you're moving in that direction. Roll your ankle a few times, and if you'd like, you might also take a little movement with your leg. This is another one of those where there's not a right or wrong way, just kind of what feels good, exploring the range of motion that might be available to you. You go in and out, side to side. You might flex or point your foot how you like. Go ahead and release your right leg back down to the ground. Stack your foot right underneath your knee, feet hip distance apart, and press both feet down firmly. Sit up tall, stack shoulders over hips, and then left knee lifts up. Take your hands around your shin and draw your knee up towards your chest. Again, you want to attempt to draw your leg as close to your chest as possible, or even press it in together, but if they don't touch, it's okay. Just keep moving in that direction. Add a little ankle roll if you like, or you might start to add in a little movement with your leg, just exploring the range of motion that's available to you. You could do something that's the same or different than what you did on the first side. Notice that in different ranges of motion here, whether you flex or point your foot will change how the rest of your leg feels as well. With an exhale, release your leg back down to the ground. Press both feet down firmly and sit up tall, shoulders over hips. Big breath in, long breath out. This time, extend your right leg straight forward. Flex and point your foot a few times. Roll your ankle out. And then draw your knee up to your chest. Squeeze in, chest to thigh. Release out on an exhale. Press both feet down, sit up tall. We'll have a natural tendency to lean back every time. So each time you reset, think shoulders over hips, tall, long spine. Press both feet down firmly and extend your left leg. Flex and point your foot a few times, maybe roll your ankle. And then hands around your shin, hug your knee up to your chest. Big breath in. Exhale, release back down. Shoulders over hips, sit up tall, press both feet down. Right leg extends. Draw your knee into your chest. This time you can stay here, or you might cross your ankle over your knee. Make a figure four shape. Flex your right foot, keep your ankle strong. This is important to protect your knee. And then you're welcome to stay right here, supporting your leg with your hands. You might take one hand away and just use your right hand to support your knee. You might take both hands away and let gravity do its thing. If you would like more stretch here and you don't feel pain in your knee, lean your shoulders forward so shoulders come in line right over your knee and ankle. Press your left foot down to the ground firmly to give you a strong base of support. If you're hinging forward, move shoulders back in line over hips. Draw your knee back up to your chest. And everybody release your foot back down. Come back to your neutral position, shoulders over hips, both feet pressed down. Then left leg extends out. Draw your knee up to your chest. Stay here or cross your ankle over your knee. Make your figure four shape. Right away, flex your left foot. Keep your ankle strong and engaged. You can support with both hands, one hand, or let gravity do its thing, letting your knee drop away. You should feel this stretch at the outside of your left hip. If you feel pain in your knee, back off until that pain subsides. If you'd like a little more intensity, hinge from the hip crease, bring shoulders in line, right over your knee and ankle. Press your right foot down firmly. Strong base of support all the way from the floor up. If you're hinging forward, bring shoulders back over hips. Draw your knee up to your chest. And everyone, release your foot back down to the ground. Full breath in. Long exhale. Inhale, sit up taller. On your exhale, forward fold. Hinge from the hips, start to lean forward. And remember, you can pause anywhere along the way. You might stop here, or you might continue to walk your hands down towards the ground. If you can reach your ankles or the ground, press your hands down, press your feet down, and feel the engagement all the way through the backside of your body, your spine, your shoulders, your legs, getting really strong as we're stretching. On an inhale, roll back upright, shoulders stack over hips. Exhale, bring arms down by your sides. Palms together at heart center, big breath in. And this time, hinge forward without the use of your hands, or of course with the use of your hands if that's your preference. Really feel your feet pressing down, keep knees stacking over ankles, and see how far you can hinge forward without your hands supporting you. You'll probably notice this makes the stretch feel more intense in your legs as they're doing a lot more work to hold you up here. Inhale and bring your torso upright. Exhale, arms down by your sides. Make sure feet are stacked underneath ankles. Extend your right leg forward. Drawing your knee up to your chest, squeeze in. Stay here or ankle over knee, making our figure four shape once more. You can hold on with your hands, with one hand, or look ma, no hands. Just let gravity do its thing. This time, a few options. You can stay upright as you are. You can do the hinge forward we did the first time, or you might take a gentle twist to the left. So take your hand to your ankle and just really gently twist open. Remember to keep your right ankle flexed and strong, and that's going to protect your knee joint and send the stretch more to your hip. If you're twisting, untwist on an exhale. Everybody knee draws up to your chest, inhale. And exhale, release your foot back to the ground. Reset at neutral, feet hip distance apart, and remember, lean forward, shoulders over hips. Press both feet down, left leg extends out. Draw your knee up to your chest, squeeze in. Stay here or make your figure four shape, ankle over knee. You can support with your hands or take them away and let gravity pull your knee down. Don't press down. You're welcome to stay right here. You're welcome to do the hinge forward we did the first time, or add a little bit of twist. Take your left hand to your left ankle, right shoulder draws up, down, and back. You can use the back of your chair or place your hand beside you. As you twist, continue to lift your chest, tall spine. On an exhale, untwist. Everybody knee draws up to your chest, inhale. And exhale, release your foot back down to the mat. Readjust, come to your strong, firm, neutral seat, feet press down. Take your right foot and slide it ever so slightly forward, just enough that you can lift your heel and draw your toes up towards you. Yeah, I'll put my heel about in line with my opposite toes. Then what we're gonna do, left hand to leg, right hand reaches out, press your left foot down a lot and hinge forward. Reach your fingertips towards your toes. As always, as long as you're reaching in that direction, you're doing the right thing. It doesn't really matter if you ever reach your toes. If you would like to have that point of contact between your hand and foot, but you can't quite reach, a little towel or t-shirt around your foot that you can hold onto can give you that same sensation. If you can reach your foot, go ahead and press your foot into your hand and draw back on your foot with your arm, building more and more strength here in this pose. Hinge upright and slide your right foot back underneath your knee. Same thing with the left foot. Slide that heel a little bit forward. I'll typically line up my heel with my right toes and flex your foot. Lift your toes all the way up towards you. Right hand to thigh, left hand goes forward. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, hinge from the hips. It could be a little lean forward. It might be more than a little lean. You might be able to connect your foot and your hand. Remember that you want to come forward with both shoulders at the same time, so it's not a twist to get my hand down to my foot. It is a hinge from the hip crease where both shoulders come forward. If you like that point of contact but can't quite reach it, grab your t-shirt or your towel, go ahead and wrap it around your foot and hold on. Press your foot to your hand and plug that left shoulder back in so that you get a little bit of strength building here. On an inhale, come upright. and replace your foot underneath your knee. One more time on each side, and we're going to add a little bit of a twist. So right heel slides slightly forward, flex your foot, draw your toes up towards you. This time, right hand to hip, left hand, take it right out in front of you. Then what you're going to do is just ever so slightly twist that left hand in the direction of your right foot. For this, my left shoulder will be slightly forward from my right shoulder. Continue to press both feet down, and you'll notice this gets at a little bit of a different part of your hamstring than we stretched the first time. If you want more intensity, go ahead and shoot that right arm out to the side. Press both feet down as you hinge upright, and replace your right foot. Reset at neutral, tall spine, knees in line over feet. Left heel slides forward. This is our last time. Left hand to hip, extend your right arm straight out. Take that little bit of twist so your right fingertips come to or towards your left toes. And again, if you want more intensity, you can go ahead and send that left arm right out to the side at shoulder height. Press down through both feet. You want to press that ground away from you. It's going to make your legs strong and engaged. Press your feet down even more as you hinge upright. And go ahead and replace your left foot underneath your knee. Walk your feet out as wide as they will go, and turn your toes out to about the 45-degree angle. Stack knees over ankles so shins are vertical. Press your feet down. You might stay right here. This could already be enough stretch for you. You're thinking, Leah, I'd like a little more stretch. Take your hands to support you on your thighs, not your knees, and take a slight hinge forward. The more you press your feet down, the more you'll feel the stretch. You might notice your knees dumping inwards. Press down more through the outer edges of your feet, the pinky toe side, and grip the floor with all 10 toes. Hinge upright, take a big breath in. Exhale, relax your shoulders. Take your hands to your thighs and just start to dip one shoulder in at a time. This movement can be really small, or if you like that lean forward, you can start to exaggerate the movement a little bit more. This is one of those where your body will tell you exactly what's right for you. So you don't want to push past the point of pain or discomfort. It should just feel like a gentle twist and stretch in your legs. Finish out one more twist to each side. And then go ahead and roll upright. Stack shoulders over hips. See if you can take palms to heart center as you walk your feet back in. We're going to go ahead and bring your feet and legs all the way together. If that is uncomfortable for you, of course, you can still practice with your feet hip distance apart. Something I like to do sometimes is feet hip distance apart, and I'll place like a block or something that's not too firm in between your knees. And that way you can still squeeze your knees into something, but you don't have to bring your legs all the way together. That might be a good option for you. So if you'd like, go ahead and grab something that works for you to squeeze your knees into. You want your knees and your feet to be the same distance apart. We're going to practice a few rounds of power pose here. We'll start with a version that's completely seated. We'll do several rounds, and each round I'll give another option that's a little bit more challenging. So you can decide to continue practice the seating or the seated pose for all the rounds, or you might move on with me and scale up that movement to be a little bit more challenging each time. Start, feet together or again apart, and press your feet down firmly. When you do this, it should feel like you're sliding back in your chair. Bring shoulders in line over hips, sit up really tall. Then bring your arms up and out, overhead. Continue to press your feet down, squeeze your knees in together. Your legs are working super hard even though you're seated. Take a big breath in. Exhale, release. Take a moment to relax. You can take your knees side to side if you like. So that's option one. You can continue to practice that for the next few rounds. Option 2, I'm going to turn my chair to the side so that you can see a little more easily. Option 2, we'll set up our feet the same way, but I suggest you bring your feet slightly closer to you. What we're going to do is press your feet down, squeeze your knees in, feel your seat sliding back, and then bring arms up overhead. Press down to your feet, lean your torso slightly forward, and you might lean forward enough to just slightly lift your seat off the chair. Hang in there for a few breaths, and of course, you can always touch back down at your leisure. One more inhale, exhale, release. Relax your legs, maybe move side to side. All right, we've got 2 more rounds. You can practice option 1. You can practice option 2. For option 3, begin standing, but be just in front of your chair, so don't move your feet. Squeeze your legs in together. Tuck your tailbone forward. You want to really feel even your glutes squeezing in together behind you. Then bring arms up overhead. Inhale. Exhale, sink back. If you're in your chair, you might try to float your hips. And here we want to stay as tall as we can. Move shoulders back over your hips even more for a more vertical spine. Tuck your tailbone forward. One more breath in. Exhale, release either to the chair or stand back up. Take our last little break. And one more round of power pose, Utkatasana. Choosing your option. I'm going to do the last option again. Arms up overhead. And come into your pose, squeezing legs in together. Ankles, knees, thighs, all hugging in. Tuck tail forward. Draw waistline back. Move wrists and shoulders back. One more breath in, sit a little deeper. Exhale, release to the chair. Walk your feet out wide. Heels in, toes out. And one more forward fold here. Hands to your thighs, inhale. Exhale, it might just be a little hinge forward. You might begin to walk your hands down your legs, and you might even be able to reach the ground here. Press your feet down, move your knees out, and think hips, back, head, forward. Press your feet down even more as you roll upright on an inhale. Exhale, walk your feet in together. We'll practice a few standing poses now. As always, there's an option for you to stay seated for basically all of these standing poses. For Warrior 1 and Warrior 2, I believe that most of you kind of know the options by now, but I'll demonstrate them the first time that we practice. We'll have a few rounds, so for those requisite rounds, you'll just be able to do whichever option works best for you. If you do plan to stand up, sometimes the back of your chair is not the best surface to support yourself with your hands. Your countertop or anything kind of counter height can be better. And as well, if you like to use a walker, it's great to practice with your walker as that's what you use in your daily life to get around as well. I'll show Warrior 1 and Warrior 2 as their seated versions first, and then we'll go through and do the rounds, and I'll practice them standing as we do. For your Warrior 1 option, when you have your right leg forward, you'll scooch over in your chair so that your right leg and your right side of your seat are still seated on the chair, and you want your left leg to be kind of free. You'll bring your knee in line right over your ankle as you usually do, and you want to walk your left leg out and back as much as possible towards this shape, lunging forward. Your leg might not go back as far as mine. It might go more like this, out to the side, and you might bend your knee a little bit. You want to feel a little bit of a stretch in the front of your left leg. You're always welcome to lift your heel as well. Arms up overhead. So here's Warrior 1, shoulders stack over hips and everything faces to the front. To switch sides in Warrior 1, if you're seated, you'll simply bring your left leg forward. You'll scooch over onto the other side of your chair. Left seat and left thigh kind of firmly planted on your chair, and your right leg walks out and back. Again, you're welcome to bend your knee. You're welcome to lift your heel, or you can straighten your leg out and reach that heel more down toward the ground. Arms up, and everything stacks up, facing toward the front. That's your seated option for Warrior 1, and I'll demonstrate the standing option And we'll have a couple rounds here for warrior one and warrior two. For warrior two, it's much easier for your seated option. Walk your feet out wide as we do normally. You'll simply turn your right toes out, make your left leg more straight and turn your toes forward and open up. For here, we turn our torso to the front, legs are open to the side. To switch sides in warrior two, you'll simply bend your left knee, turn left toes out, turn right toes in, and straighten out your right leg more. So there's your seated option for warrior one and warrior two. We'll go ahead and practice a few rounds, and I'll demonstrate through the standing option. Come behind your chair or your counter, whatever you like to stand on, and come about as close to the chair as you can. We'll start with right foot forward. So take a little step forward with your right foot, bend your right knee, take a giant step back with your left foot. You want to come into the longest lunge stance that you can comfortably hold on to. Don't let your feet slide out away from you. Your lunge might look a little different than mine. It might be shorter like so or like so, but wherever you're at, stack knee over ankle, front shin is vertical. Move your left hip forward so it points at the chair. Draw your right hip back. You're welcome to support yourself with your hands. You might reach up with one or both arms. Tuck your tailbone forward. When you do that, it'll increase the stretch that you feel in the front of your left leg. Take a big breath in. Stay here as you breathe out. Inhale again. And exhale, hands back to the chair. Left foot steps forward. Right foot steps back. Come to your neutral stance again. And then left foot takes a little step forward. Bend your left knee. Right foot takes a giant step back. Anchor through the outer edge of your back foot. Stack knee over ankle. And turn that right hip forward. Naturally, your hips are going to want to open to your right side, and you want to turn your hips so that they're pointing directly at your chair. You might continue to support yourself with your hands. You might reach up with one or both arms. Tuck your tail forward, draw your belly button down. Take a full breath in. Stay here as you exhale. Inhale again. And exhale, hands to the chair, right foot forward, left foot back. One more time on each side. Right foot forward, bend your knee, big step back with your left foot. Warrior one. Work to anchor through your heel and the outer edge of your back foot, especially if you're practicing the standing version of this pose. Tuck your tailbone forward, hands can stay, or one or both arms reach up. If you're reaching up this time, take a big breath in. On your exhale, make cactus arms. Squeeze your shoulders together, bend your elbows, and peel your chest forward. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to the chair. Left foot forward, right foot back. Last time in warrior one. Little step forward with your left foot. Bend your knees, step your right foot, giant step back. Hips square to the chair, tuck your tail, draw waistline back to your spine. Keep your hands down or reach up. This time, if you're reaching up, take an inhale. On your exhale, cactus your arms, squeeze your shoulders in, really peeling your chest open. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands back to the chair. Right foot forward, left foot back. I'm going to turn my chair so you can see me for warrior two. I'm actually going to stand in the front of my chair so that you can see me better. But know that you can still use your hands on the chair to support you as you like. Take your feet out as wide as they will comfortably go. You want to feel secure here and not like your feet are sliding away from you. Either use the chair for support or take your arms out to a T. Turn your right toes out. Keep your shoulders stacked over your hips and bend your right knee. Knee line over ankle. Take your knee a little wider so it's more in line with your pinky toe, and then scoop your hips forward towards your chair. We'll have a tendency here to lean forward like so. So send more energy through your left hand so you keep a vertical stack right over your hips. Straighten your right leg. Turn right toes in and turn left toes out. Shoulders over hips, inhale. Your exhale, bend your left knee and line over your ankle. Bend and widen your knee so it's more in line with your pinky toe than your big toe, and tuck your tailbone forward. When you tuck your tail here, you'll feel increased stretch all through both inner thighs. Again, remember that we'll have a tendency to lean forward, so send more energy through your back hand, stack shoulders over hips. Straighten your left leg, turn left toes in, and one more time on each side, right toes turn out. Inhale, exhale, bend your right knee. This time, if you would like, you can flip your front palm and reverse your warrior. Reach up with your right hand, big stretch through your right side, keep bending your knee. Come back to neutral, straighten your right leg, right toes in, left toes out, last side, last time, bend your left knee. Scoop your tailbone forward, stay here, or if you'd like, flip your front palm, right hand supports you on your leg, reach up. Continue to widen your front knee, bend it a little deeper. Inhale. Exhale back to warrior two. Straighten your left leg. Turn your left toes in. Either from standing or from seated, wide leg fold. So take an inhale here. On your exhale, press your hips back. If you're using the chair, you can walk your hands down the chair, or you might just ditch the chair completely and do a standing fold here. If you're using your hands on the chair, you can stop anywhere that makes sense for you. Use the chair like a ladder. Just be careful with your head. Bending your knees a little or a lot is totally encouraged here. Tuck your forehead down towards your legs and think hips high, head low. Walk your hands back up on an inhale, moving slowly. Stack your shoulders over your hips. Big exhale. Walk your feet back together underneath you. We're going to practice warrior three, which is a balancing pose. You want to stand pretty close to your chair so that if you're standing up straight, your hands can support you. If you're too far away, you'll have to lean forward to get your chair. And that's not really what we want. We want a vertical stack, shoulders, hips, ankles, hands supporting you. To begin with, take your feet hip distance apart and start by simply transferring the weight into your right foot. Left foot gets light. And then come back through the center and just transfer your weight to your left foot. Right foot gets light. Do that again. Kind of lean over to the right, transfer the weight to your right foot. Left foot is light. And then lean over to the left, right foot is light. Come back through the center. Now, we're going to try that same thing one more time, but try to keep your torso centered as you transfer the weight from one leg to another. So rather than leaning out like this, and I transferred the weight, transfer the weight. I picked up my left foot, but I still am stacked right over both legs. See the difference? It's a very slight lean to the side. So try that a couple times, keeping your torso more still and still transferring the weight from one foot to the other. You might even bend your knee and pick your foot up, kind of like you're walking in place. Nice. Now that we feel good, putting the weight more on one foot than the other, transfer the weight to your right leg and take just a little bit of bend in your right knee. Slide your left foot back behind you. You can keep your toes or the ball of your foot down for extra support, or you might float your leg just an inch or two off the ground. You're welcome to stay here, or continue to lift your heel and pitch your torso forward towards the chair. You can stop at any point along the way or come all the way to horizontal as I am here. Tone your inner thighs together. So your left hip, it might want to do this and open up to the side. You want to turn that left hip down to point at the ground and squeeze your inner thighs in a lot. Engage your lifted leg, either flex or point your foot, whatever you like, but make all the way through your tippy toes strong here. Hinge back upright. Step your left foot all the way down underneath you and just take a moment to reset in neutral. Find your tall spine, shoulders stack over hips, hands comfortably support you on the chair. Then put the weight in your left leg, right toe slide back. You're welcome to stay with your tippy toes down, or you're welcome to float that foot just an inch off the ground. Stay here or allow your heel to lift as you pitch your torso forward, toning inner thighs together as you go. So that right hip, point it directly down at the mat. It might want to lift up out to the side, and you'll notice that the more you point your hip down, the more it feels like a stretch in the back of your left leg. Hinge back upright and step down. Take a moment to reset in neutral. We'll take one more round this time. If you would like to practice without your hands, I suggest starting a little farther away from the chair so that you can just barely reach without leaning forward. If you want to keep holding on for the second round, absolutely, go for it. Little bend in the right knee, left foot slides back, put most of your weight in your right leg, stay here or float your foot. No matter where you're at, you might try to just have a moment even of taking your hands away, and you might start to hinge forward, and maybe take one arm or both arms back alongside you. Hinge back upright. Replace your left foot. Take a moment to reset in neutral. And then put the weight in your left leg. Little bend in your knee. Right toe slide back. Warrior three. You can stay here. You can float your foot. At any point in time, you might try to go with no hands, even if it's just for 1 millisecond. You might start to hinge forward. And from here, you can also rest your chest on the chair if you can get low enough to go. That can be a good option for no hands. That still allows the chair to support you quite a bit. Hinge back upright, step down, and reset in neutral. We're going to take one more forward fold here. It's your choice if you prefer to do more of a hip distance apart forward fold, or if you like that wide leg forward fold and you step your feet out, whether you're seated or standing. Either one of those are really good. I'm going to do kind of a hip distance fold. I really like that one. Stand back from your chair just a little bit so you can just reach. Take a little bend in your knees and then press your hips backwards as you bring your torso down. So notice that I'm making kind of a giant L shape with my body. It's different than pressing my hips forward and leaning forward into the chair. Bend your knees, press your hips back, and lower your torso. You might stop around parallel, or you might find you have a little more room to walk your hands down the chair. You might even find the ground with your hands. Bending your knees is encouraged, and attempt to make a connection between your torso and your thighs. Relax your head and neck. Maybe nod your head yes, and shake your head no. Carefully, be careful of your head especially. On an inhale, walk your hands back up the chair, roll upright. Take a big sigh, exhale. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Go ahead and have a seat once more. I'm going to continue to turn my chair to the side so you can see. We're going to practice a little bit of a seated bridge pose, and you have the option to keep your seat on the chair the whole time and just kind of start to work with the strength in your torso. For this pose, you will need to slide quite far forward in your chair. I would say slide as far forward as you can without fear of falling off. If you're familiar with bridge pose and you would like to practice it from the ground instead, absolutely feel free. What you're going to do is take your feet so they are in line underneath your knees and hold onto your chair firmly beside or behind you. The first round through, we'll all keep our seat down. Draw your shoulders up, down, and back, and puff your chest forward. Nice. Feel that squeeze together of your shoulder blades. Feel your chest opening up. You can tuck your chin in towards your chest slightly. Take one more inhale here. On your exhale, release your spine back to neutral. All right, you're welcome to practice that. The next 2 rounds, we'll have 2 more attempts at bridge pose. So you're welcome to keep your seat down and just practice on opening your chest. If you would like to move on, I'll demonstrate and kind of walk you through it for these next 2 rounds. Remember, feet in line underneath your knees, hands come beside or behind you on the chair. You want to make sure that you can hold on quite firmly. Draw your shoulders down and back, lift your chest. You can stay here or press more through your feet and start to lift your hips a little off the chair. You might only lift up an inch and it might only be for a moment, that's fine. Or press your feet down more and continue to lift your hips a little higher. Release your hips back down, release your arms, shake it out a little bit, maybe roll your shoulders. One more round here of our bridge pose. Adjust your feet slightly if you need to. Like if you notice when you lifted up, your feet wanted to slide away from you, bring your feet in just a little closer so you have that firm base of support. Bring your hands beside or behind you on the chair. Roll shoulders up, down, and back. Lift your chest first. Decide if you'd like to stay here or press through your feet. Lift your hips a little or a lot. You're welcome to sit back into the chair whatever you would like or hold on here for another big breath in. And exhale, release back down. Make sure your seat is resting comfortably. Roll the shoulders out. We're going to take a little forward fold here with both legs. So earlier we did one leg at a time. Now we're going to take both legs. Slightly move those heels forward. Lift your toes, flex your toes back towards you. Anchor your heels to the ground. Take an inhale. On your exhale, hinge forward. You can use your hands for support, or you might take both hands, reach towards your toes. Reach evenly with both hands. And that same trick with your t-shirt or towel can work around both feet. Just take one end in each hand. If you can reach your toes, press your feet to your hands and your hands to your feet. Walk your hands back upright on an inhale. Exhale, relax your shoulders. Bring your feet comfortably underneath you. We will have a little bit of cool down stretch going on here for the next just couple minutes. So if you would like to practice any kind of floor stretches or anything else that you like to incorporate into your yoga practice, absolutely now's the time to do that. You have about 5 or 6 minutes to fit that in. Otherwise, we're going to do a little bit of stretch for the hands, the wrists, and a little bit of stretch in your neck. Just kind of cool down here. So we'll start with the hands and wrists. Go ahead and take your right arm right out of shoulder height. Flex your hand back like you're palming a basketball. Spread your fingers as wide as you can and draw your fingers back towards you. And then make a fist. Point your knuckles down. Feel that stretch right through the top of your hand, the top of your wrist. Again, open up, draw your fingers back towards you, spread out really wide, big stop hand. Then make your fist, point your knuckles down. 2 more times here on this hand, open up really wide. Then make that fist, point your knuckles down. And last time, open up those fingers, spread wide, stop hand, press through the heel of your hand. Make your fist, point your knuckles down. Then release out, take your arm up. Shake it out up high. Shake it out a little lower. Shake it out to the side. Shake it out down by your side and release that right hand to your leg. Left arm extends. Make that big stop hand, spread your fingers wide and draw those fingertips back towards you. Yeah, nice. Make your fist, point your knuckles down. You should feel this right in the top of your wrist. Open up, spread, draw fingertips back. Then make your fist, point your knuckles down. 2 more times, open up, draw your fingers back, press through the heel of your hand, strong arm. Make your fist and point those knuckles down. Last time, spread out. Make your fist and close off. Then go ahead and take your arm up. Shake it out up high. Shake it out a little lower. Shake it out to the side. Shake it out down low. Release down. Go ahead and take your right hand out. This time, bring your fingers more together. Take your left fingers to your right fingers. You can hook your thumb, or I usually leave my thumb out, and press your hand forward. Use your left hand to draw back. So right arm presses forward and straight. Left hand draws back. This is going to provide a nice stretch through your forearm, and just through your wrist. And again, if there's pain, you want to stop before the point of pain, but you do want to feel a stretch, and sometimes there is a slight amount of discomfort in a stretch. That's okay, but no pain. I have a teacher, he says no pain, gain, as opposed to no pain, no gain, that we've heard a lot. Take your left hand away, let those fingers point down, make your hand just nice and relaxed. And then take your left palm to the back of your right hand. Use your hand rather than your fingers this time. And you want to press your right arm forward as you draw your hand kind of down and back. And again, this will provide a nice stretch right there on the top of your wrist, but you don't want to push past that point of pain. Take that right arm up, shake it out up top. Shake it out a little lower, out to the side, and down by your side. Left arm extends, fingers together. Make your stop hand. Fingers to fingers. Left hand presses forward. Right hand draws those fingers back. So from the side, it looks kind of like this. Yeah. And again, I don't like to hook my thumb. Some people really like to hook their thumb. For me, I don't get as good of a stretch when I do. So choose the option that you like better. Take away your right hand, relax that hand, just neutral hand, fingertips point down. You want your arm pretty straight. Right palm to the back of your left hand. Press that hand towards you. Left arm straightens and presses your wrist forward. Go ahead and release that right arm. Take your left arm up, shake it out. A little lower. Out to the side. Down by your side. And release that left hand. A little bit of stretch for the neck. Take your right hand to your right cheek and just let your ear fall over towards your right shoulder. More than anything, what's going to create the stretch here is your left shoulder relaxing away from your left ear. If you are fine here, no pain, and you'd like a little more stretch, you can take your right hand away. And you can also take your hand and place it over, kind of on the left side of your head by your ear. Draw your elbow down. Think elbow down and in. Left shoulder relaxes, making a nice long line through the left side of your neck. This is one where you do not want to feel any pain at all. If you feel any pain, you want to back off and go to one of these more supported options. Support your head coming back up through center. Left hand to cheek. Take your right arm down and just go ahead and let that left ear fall over towards your shoulder. Again, more than anything, what creates the stretch is your right shoulder relaxing down and away. You can tilt your head over all you want, but if that right shoulder comes with it, we don't create any stretch through the neck. If this feels okay, maybe take your hand away. Maybe add that little bit of extra weight, fingertips by your right ear. Draw that elbow down. Continue to relax your right shoulder. Continue to breathe. Full inhale and exhale. Use your left hand, support your head coming back up through center, and then drop your chin to your chest, look straight down. You might stay here, or if you'd like a little more stretch and it feels okay for your neck, you can interlace your hands behind your head, not your neck. Your head, not your neck. Let your elbows draw down and in, and add a slight rounding in your upper spine. Elbows draw towards your knees. Notice here that I'm still quite upright in my spine, so it's not a rounding like this, just in the upper spine. So shoulders stay over hips. You should kind of look straight down, just in between your thighs. Release your hands. Gently lift your chin. Full breath in. Open your mouth. Exhale. One more time. Big breath in. Open your mouth. Release. Go ahead and find your way to a slightly more comfortable seat. It could be even just like a different chair that you've been using for class. We're going to settle in for a really brief, just a few-minute meditation, and then we'll take a short shavasana as well at the end. Find your more comfortable seat. If you'd like, you can use the back of your chair to support your spine. You can bring your hands down to rest comfortably on your legs or in your lap. Allow your shoulders to relax. Either close your eyes or gaze softly at the ground in front of you. Start to bring more ease and relaxation to your body. So relax your face, unfurl your brow, relax your jaw, release your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Feel your shoulders softening downward. And for most of class, we've been pressing our feet down into the ground. Just let your legs rest. Let the ground support you. Feel the ground pressing back to you. Start to call to mind a few things. It can be like a concept or something more concrete that you would like to invite more of into your life this season. Maybe it's patience, maybe it's cleanliness, maybe it's organization, maybe it's friendship, maybe it's social interaction. It's been difficult for a lot of us to get that recently, so maybe it's being more comfortable with the technology that we can use in this day to kind of connect with each other more. It can be one or two words or brief phrases. Once you've settled on the two things that really speak to you this morning, start to say the first one silently to yourself as you breathe in. And say the second word or phrase silently to yourself as you breathe out. Continue on in this fashion, breathing in and out. Attempt to get a full deep breath in and a complete exhale, releasing all your air each time. You might allow the pacing to just be natural, or you might consciously choose to deepen your breath, moving a little slower over time. At the end of your next exhalation, start to transition out of your mantra. Find your full restful position. You might choose to lay down on your back in the supine position. You might just get a little bit more comfortable in the seat that you're in. I like to take my feet out nice and wide, my toes turn out. Allow yourself to fully relax here for Shavasana, our final rest. Relax your face, your jaw, the space behind your eyes. Allow your breath to breathe at its own pace and just be here for a moment. Start to gently deepen your breath. Take little movements to fingers and toes. If you'd like, you can reach your arms overhead. Take one more big stretch. And then sit up tall, come forward in your seat once more. If you're laying down, find your way up to a comfortable seat on the ground. Take palms together at heart center. We'll close practice today with the sound Om one time. You're, of course, welcome to sing along or listen. Release your air. Full breath in. Thumbs to forehead center. With gratitude for this practice. Namaste. Thank you all so much for joining in and sharing your wonderful practice today. As always, I'm just so delighted to be able to do this with you all, and the response has been so wonderful. So thank you so much. Have a happy Friday, a great rest of your day, and I hope to run into you in the halls or hear from you at the restaurant soon. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.